Welcome to Attunement with Courtney O'Keefe. I am your host, Courtney. Today is our third eye business background. We have Rare Soul Retreats. They create elevated yoga experiences designed for the everyday yogi, whether you're just beginning your practice or seeking to deepen it. Founded by Rach and Ally, their retreats blend powerful movement, restorative stillness, and just the right amount of woo-woo magic to nurture both body and soul. Born from a desire to bring inclusivity and connection into the yogi community, Rare Soul Retreats has grown into more than a passion project. It's a space to recharge, expand, and immerse yourself in experiences that go far beyond a 60-minute class. From grounding meditations to energizing power flows, each retreat is crafted to inspire internal growth that ripples outward into your life. Rach and Ally, we are so excited to have you here.
Hey, we're so happy to be here. We both go. Thanks.
For those of you listening, I met Rach first at Drip Yoga. She was my yoga instructor and we clicked really well, became friends. And then I met Ally at a Rare Soul event at Drip, but I had been chatting with you online for a while. So I'm so excited to have you guys on the podcast to talk about your business together. And I don't know which one of you wants to go first, but I would love to hear a little bit about each of your upbringing and like who you are as a person, to tell the audience that, and then a little bit about your career journey before forming Rare Soul Retreats together.
Al, you want to take it away, girl? Okay, sure. So I'm Allie. I grew up in the Chicago suburbs. I was always a mover. I was always a dancer, and movement was a way to self-express. It was really healthy for me as a child. I pursued dance in college as a dance major, taught dance post-grad, and got burnt out really fast. Fell in love with yoga, just threw myself into that and decided that that was a career shift that I wanted to make. It felt more grounding for me working with adults versus children. And I really just loved leading, I should say, people in a room, connecting them. Managed fitness studios. I now live in Colorado. I've had my own personal health journey where yoga has just been the backbone for it. And Rare Soul has been something that has really changed me as an instructor, but also as a woman, which we will get into. And that's my spiel.
Love it. I had no idea. I mean, I knew you were a dancer, but I didn't realize it was like such a core part of you.
Yes, forever.
That's so fun.
I can't see myself never not moving in some way. And I think yoga feels like choreography on my mat. That's what keeps me coming back.
Yeah, that's fun. Sequencing must be fun for you then.
Rach, I love it. I could listen to Allie all day. I could listen to her. I'm Rach. So I also grew up in the Chicago suburbs, which I love that we were so close to each other, but yet so far we didn't meet each other right away. So I am one of three. I'm a typical middle child, Scorpio energy. Courtney knows this about me. I'm super high energy. I love being in a room that I can talk to people. And that initially manifested in me going to college to become a special ed teacher. So I started off, I got my degree in that, but somewhere along that path, I also was dealing with kind of like crippling anxiety and panic. And that's what first brought me to like, okay, I'm going to take yoga consistently. Like I've dabbled in it earlier in life, but I'm going to start consistently at like 18, 19. And then I wanted something to do with my summers. I got a job right away teaching special ed, and I wanted to be able to continue to teach and lead. So I did teacher training. I started teaching classes and teaching special ed. And then after I had my daughter, I was like, this is my passion. This is what I want to do. And I made the shift to managing yoga studios for 8 years, which we'll get to. That's kind of how Allie and I met. And then I decided, you know what? I think I just want to teach and get to give the best of myself. And I left managing, and I've been teaching classes and getting to kind of explore the world and meet new people with Allie. And you can't ask for something better than getting to be with one of your best friends, like while creating something, but also like living and working in different places. So that's a little bit of me.
So cool. I forgot you were in special ed, but that's so fun that you like it bled into like teaching yoga. You're still teaching. Could you explain how the two of you met, the scenario of how you met, and like any events or experiences that led to forming Rare Soul Retreats? Like, where did this idea come from? How did it become what it is today?
Yeah. So Rach and I both got hired to work at a new studio that was opening in the burbs right at the beginning of COVID. I remember doing one of my interviews with the studio owner, and we were getting ready to kind of come out of lockdown. It was a crazy time. So Rach got hired as the GM. I got hired as a lead instructor. And so we hit it off right away. We're working for this brand, there's formats, you're kind of pigeonholed in a way in terms of self expression. So after some time, Rach and I were talking. I remember sitting in the studio and we're kind of bouncing back and forth ideas about this opportunity that we can build, not just for ourselves, but for other women, letting them know that there's different kinds of yoga that exist. It doesn't need to be this way only. And so we thought, what if we take it outside of these four walls? What if we travel up to Kohler, Wisconsin, which ended up being our first retreat? I have a memory of walking with my daughter, who was a little baby at the time in a stroller, and Rach and I are going back and forth sending each other voice memos. And Rare Soul, the name popped up, and we were thinking R for Rach, A for Ally in the word rare. And it just kind of took off. And quickly we
Mm,
applied to be an LLC, and it snowballed, and we sold out our retreat. And it was so special. And I think at the root of everything is we always want our retreats to be accessible financially, but also physically. We always say that our retreats are like a choose your own adventure. You can opt out, opt in, all levels, all experiences, all bodies, all genders. We technically lean towards women. I think that's who we attract because we are women ourselves. But we've had
yeah.
men on the retreats and they bring a nice energy, very balanced. And so that was in July of 21.
Wow.
So we've been around
And
for
when
a
you
bit.
think about it, that's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I will literally never forget. I will never forget the Saturday that I walked into the studio and I like wanted to teach so much more, right? But when I was managing, it was like, this is what you need to do. You got to be focused on the business and you have your two classes, but you got to stay in that lane. And I will never forget Allie taught on Saturdays and I would work randomly on a Saturday. And like everyone had left and I was like, Allie, this might be crazy. Like I remember that phrase, this might be crazy. But like, do you think we could do this? Like, do you have interest in doing this? And it was just like an immediate yes and an immediate dialogue. And I think that like that excitement about something was
Yeah.
so fun to be able to create again. Like Ellie said, like it's not one way. It's not, you don't have to only take these classes and never do anything else. Like our retreats pair really well with whatever, your yoga practice is on a daily basis, whether that's more restorative, meditative, or it's more high energy. But that moment, just like Allie's moment is, Harlow in the stroller and listening to our voice memos back and forth. And for me, I will never forget being in the lobby of that studio and like deciding we want more.
Yeah. That's so exciting. When you're saying that, I like feel it in my heart space. Like the passion behind it is so beautiful. And as someone who has attended a few Rare Soul events, I know how magical they are. And they're your intention, your two intentions together are just so beautiful and you can feel it in the spaces and experiences that you create. I just love it so much. So thank you for
We're very
sharing your
lucky.
gifts.
Yeah. We're lucky that our energies do mesh well together. It's not forced. We have never had to sit down and talk about I need you to be more of this or less of this. I mean, it's just very fluid and I think that's why it works.
Do you know what your human designs are?
I don't.
I'm
I
a
don't know
manifester.
thoroughly,
You're a
but
manifester?
no, I don't know. But so I'm gonna have to like you're gonna have to dig into that with me. But whatever
Yeah.
is like this magic where we always say the easiest part is actually doing the retreat because like
Mm,
we don't need to sit down and be like, okay, Allie, you're doing this and then I'll say this. Like it's literally just like I got my class, you got yours. This is how we want to make people feel. Go.
mhm,
And
mhm.
that is the magic for me is that like we communicate without, and we get that feedback a lot too, Allie, like the way we
Hmm.
seamlessly teach a class together without practicing it because that's just us, you know?
Yeah. It's very yin yang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. And before we dive too much into like what your experiences look like, because we'll definitely get into that, could you explain a little bit because you have this like woo woo aspect to what you're doing, this like third eye energy. That's why I wanted you guys to come on. What did your spiritual journeys look like? Did you go on a spiritual journey together or did you guys have your own individual journeys before you added this element of woo woo into your business?
I mean, I feel like we really, I'll let Allie speak about her. She is my woo woo, and I have my pieces, but like she really does bring a lot of that energy. I think that we both grew a lot. Like we had been through a lot separately in our lives and like in our careers. And I think that set us up for success. Like if we would have done, Rare Soul back when, we both had just gotten out of college, like we might have even not connected in the same way. But I think it's because of the way that we kind of went on our own path first and then came together. And I like really want Allie to talk about her spiritual piece, and then I'll chat a little bit about how that has like grown our business together. But like, Allie, you give us your woo.
I feel like I've been a spiritual being for quite some time, but a standout moment for me, I think, in my life and my career was reading Gabby Bernstein's book Spirit Junkie back in like 2012, 2013. And that book really shifted things for me. I just got hired by Lululemon. I was kind of in that realm of tapping into spirituality. What is this? Can I explore it? What are spirit guides? What are spirit babies? All the things. And it's just always been of interest to me. So then fast forward, my yoga practice just naturally became something that was more spiritual, talking about, the universe and feeling supported. I've always been a believer. Yes, everything happens for a reason. What's meant for you won't miss you. All the things, right? I sprinkle that into my classes because that's how I authentically feel. And I feel like students need to hear it. People need to be reminded that you are safe. You are exactly where you need to be. You've been through some shit. You've been through a lot of trauma. We can get through it together. And I think that's the beauty of our sisterhood with Rare Soul, because we've all fought some battles and we come together. Rach and I both got Reiki certified level 2 right before I moved out to Colorado. And having both of us be practitioners of that brings a special magic to our retreats when we are doing straight up Reiki, when we're blending Reiki with restorative yoga. And I feel like we get a lot of feedback at our retreats, people feeling sensations in the bodies and, feelings and stories and memories that have been pushed down. And so I think Reiki very much is at the forefront of my life and my yoga practice and bringing it to students. And I think when we come together, both of us at our retreats and share that with our students, it's unmatched. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also think it's like going on the line of intuition. Like for me, it's it's that gut check. Like I say this to Courtney all the time, like my gut never lies. Like it might take some
Mm-hmm.
time, but like is very aware of I like to believe of what people need or how they might be feeling. And then you go with that power of touch through Reiki and think about how often somebody just puts a hand on you, right? Or like just like is like it's almost just like I got you. That's how I feel when I touch someone in Reiki. Like I got you. Like we'll get through it. Whatever that journey is that you're going through, we're all a part of this. So I think intuitively for me, my spiritual journey has more been so like trusting my gut and how I feel about something because it does guide me. That has been my guide. So adding Reiki into that and being like, okay, there is power in touch, and like why I love hands-on assist and adjust so much because I think that it's more than just assisting somebody. It's really that like connection energetically.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I went to Tulum with you guys last year and I had like the biggest third eye activation I've probably ever had on an experience like that. And I shared some of that with you guys, but like your Reiki and like restorative practices were a big part of that. Have you had a lot of people like come up to you and share their experiences outside of me sharing all the crazy shit that was going on in my third eye space? Like, do people come and like share those things with you after they experience them?
Oftentimes, yes. people are in a vulnerable state. Their heart has been cracked open. They want to share, they want to feel validated. Am I crazy? How did you know that I needed my heart to be activated? How did you know that I wanted, some support in my crown chakra, my head? It felt like you just cleared my headache. People say like, "Oh, mom passed away, this happened, this happened," and I just feel better. I cried, couldn't even control it. So yes, we get a lot of stories and a lot of feedback that it's powerful incorporating Reiki with yoga. We all know this, we're all Reiki certified. Reiki is a Japanese healing modality and it helps shift the energy. So already as yogis, already moving our bodies together, we're shifting the energy around. And then you just add this layer of Reiki on top and it is like chef's kiss. I feel like nothing could top it. It's perfect.
And I think there's a lot of like physical, like I think when you in Tulum, Courtney, I even said to you, I was like, what was going on over there afterwards? Because we see a lot of like eye twitching, like rapid eye movement, or we'll feel like heat coming from the body. Like we notice things and it kind of piques our interest to be like, hey, what did you feel like going on in your body? And then we kind of validate with like, well, we felt and like this, because it's an energy exchange, right? That's
Totally.
my favorite thing about Reiki is it's not depleting and it shouldn't deplete you. It should
Hmm.
energize you, both the person that you are giving Reiki to and the person that's receiving it. So I think normally, I know Allie and I will be like, we got to talk to so and so because there was some energy over there. And I love that too.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. And for anyone who's listening who has never experienced Reiki, it's nothing to be afraid of. Like these woo woo practices is nothing to be afraid of. It's so transformative. You also did a thing last year in Tulum where we burned the papers and had a healing circle, like sharing. And that was so validating. And you don't always have to share, like if you don't want to, but that was beautiful connection. And there was also a man on that trip as well. And that was a beautiful energy and balance. So, yeah, just don't be afraid of the woo woo experiences for anyone. I don't know why I felt like saying that, but maybe there's someone listening that's like, oh, maybe that's not for me. But it is a beautiful addition to the yoga retreat experience.
Fully agree. I wish
Now,
we would have done it sooner.
I love it. Could you tell us a little bit about maybe like what your first retreat in Kohler looked like where you started and how it's evolved since then?
Yeah. I feel like I love looking at that progression. So we started in Kohler, Wisconsin. I had been to the Kohler Spa a bunch of times. It's beautiful if you've never been there. But they also have a great place called Yoga on the Lake, which is their own yoga studios. They have a large one, they have a heated one, and they have these giant suites at the hotel that's close by. So we had reached out to them. We were like, let's put this together. Like, we think this is what we can do. We'll use this space. And it was more so, I think, at that time, like maybe Allie can agree or disagree, is that it was more so like, okay, we're going to do yoga. We're going to lead yoga. We're going to bring these people together. We're going to have dinners together. We're going to chat and connect. And that's where I see the first retreat really starting is like it was movement based. It was breath meditation, but that spiritual aspect wasn't fully woven in yet. Like, I think we were getting our footing. Like, is anyone going to sign up for this retreat? Like, or is it going to be me and Allie and two people? And like, we'll start that way. So it was beautiful when the announcement of Rare Soul and leading this first retreat was so well received. We had 30 yogis in our first one. Yeah, she's nodding at me. We had 30 yogis, and to have that many people that craved connection, that wanted a getaway. We were like 15 would be like the biggest we could do. So that was really cool. But I think that it started off as a way to like bring our worlds together. Like, I had this background of yogis that had followed me as I had left studios and gone to new ones. And then Allie had these yogis, but they like had never intermingled. And some of them did, right? Because we taught at the same place at that point. But it was really about bringing people together, I think, at that point, and movement and breath. That's kind of like the initial start. Al, would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think we were like, let's give them a chance, an opportunity to move elsewhere outside of, this studio, bringing our people together. And then through the feedback, we did a post-retreat survey and kind of got to feel and see what people wanted more of and less of.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we just kept evolving. We ended up doing a 1-day retreat in Chicago. And that was really fun. And that was more for, the people who couldn't make a weekend work. Maybe we're on a different budget. Again, accessibility. So we want to tap into these different yogis and people who wanted different things. They can commit to
Mm-hmm.
an all-day Sunday. And that was really special too. And so then we just kept trying. We just kept trying different times of the year, different lengths of these retreats, different offerings. Like I said, we got Reiki certified, and then we went to Isla Mujeres, which is a little island outside of Cancun. And that was our first international retreat. We were able to do Reiki there under the stars. And it was just so special. And I am just really proud of Rach and I. I don't think we celebrate each other or Rare Soul enough of how far we have come. Because when you say, wow, we've been doing this for 4 years, it's night and day from where we were to where we are now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And before we started recording, I pulled cards for us, and one that came up was unhookable. I'm not going to read the whole thing again, but it was all about like celebrating how far you've come. Oh, there's a little rainbow in there too. I don't think I showed it to you guys. Like, so pretty. It is beautiful to like look back and see how far you've come. And one thing that I want to mention too is that I helped you guys rebrand your business. What was that? Almost like a year ago?
Yeah, a year ago.
How have you felt like anything shift in your business since the rebranding? Just out of curiosity.
I feel total shift. I feel a shift into like who we really are, like a shift into like validating the purpose of Rare Soul and bringing people together and, you know, just that connection piece. Like I feel such a difference. It feels legitimate to me. The way that the vision we had for this business feels sharp. And I think that is such a testament to the way that you brand and how you make it such an experience. It's not like, let me give you your deliverables. It's an experience. And that experience catapulted us into where we've been this past year, truly. I speak so highly of you to everyone. You know, I'm your number one fan.
Oh my God, thank you. But this isn't about me. I was just I was just really curious to see if if like energetically you felt a shift.
It feels more us. I think we, had our logo originally and we played around with that R and the A for Rare. And working with you, it was just very validating and it just felt really true. The colors, talking about why we wanted the eye, why we wanted the sand connected to the sun and the sky and all the nature elements, it just was so fitting. And yes, like the process of working with you was a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
every piece
sand
of
and
our
the
brand
sun.
feels intentional,
Yeah.
everything that you did.
The sand and the sun, when you just said that, it reminded me also of Tulum. The clay mask, the body mask situation. That was so fun and so cool. I
So
don't know why I
unique.
just thought
Like
of that.
these experiences that we like lean towards now on retreats, that we like reach out to these places and see what they offer too, and not just what we bring in. I think that's a new layer for Allie and I too, being like, all right, they have a lot of cool stuff there as well that might be a new experience for the people we're bringing.
Yes. Yes. We can lean on other people. Rach and I are also like doers and we grind and we push through. And it's like, let's work smarter, not harder. These beautiful spaces have so many talented individuals, and doing that was outstanding. It's really nice when we do travel either to Mexico or kind of out of our normal realm and do those special
Mm.
offerings.
Totally. You offer like multiple yoga classes a day, which I thought was awesome because if you're someone who maybe only wanted to take like one restorative class or keep it more low key, you can totally do that. Could you explain a little bit about how you set up the structure of your retreats so that multiple people with different ideas of what they want to be doing on a retreat can participate?
Yeah, I think everything, Allie says this a lot and this sticks with me, like ensuring that everyone knows that everything is optional. Like everything showing up, not optional, everything else is optional. So we try to have a good balance of, energizing flows in the morning. Like that's typically our cadence. And then, we might go into some group work, And then we'll take it down into restorative, Reiki, meditation in the evening. So finding that arc in the day too, and realizing that people might want something more energetic based on the time of day. And then we really tend to individually, I think, lean into our strengths. We both teach everything. We can teach all the things, but it feels really authentic for us to teach and give people what brings us joy, right? What gives us, what energizes us, what we love. So we tend to, like, Allie lets me be big and loud, which I love to be, and teach high energy things. We even did a body weight sculpt class in Tulum 2 of the mornings. And then, Allie just has this beautiful cadence of, it's my favorite restore class. I always say my favorite restore class is Allie's, and you can't take it because she's in Colorado now. So you got to find us. But she has this beautiful, just like, calm energy about her that allows people to really tap internally to letting go and restore. So I think that we tend to lean into that arc for our days, like on a typical retreat. Like, we'll energize you, we'll group up, we'll come back down into something more grounded.
I think too, on our retreat, people have the option to kind of take a format that they wouldn't normally, take a style that they're not used to, that they would maybe push against. If they're a sculpt yogi, like, we're encouraging you, like, hey, unwind with us at the end of the day before we go to dinner together, or vice versa. You're not used to getting your heart rate up. It is intense. It's loud. It's so much fun to be going into those, power flows with Rach. So we're encouraging, but totally understanding. This is your retreat. If you're there for a beach vacay, amazing. Go for it. But yeah, we just, I think, have this encouragement for everybody. Explore, dabble. It's for you. It's not, but you have options. You want to share in our circle. Great. If you don't, that's amazing too. Sometimes the most powerful takeaways is just listening and just being there to support each other. So I love that we do a lot of the workshops, a lot of mindfulness, the meditation, again, extra elements that we weren't necessarily incorporating at the beginning because we just didn't know what people wanted more.
Totally. And if you're listening to this and like, I've never been on a retreat, is it weird to go by myself? I went by myself last year, and that's the first time I've ever done anything like that. I mean, obviously, I knew some of the people through the yoga studio, but I met so many cool people on that trip that I'm now like friends with. And I just think that that's so amazing. Do you see that often on your retreats?
Yes, that's the best part.
Yeah.
And
I love
now,
it.
more and more that we're doing these retreats, that maybe we have a middle ground. I'm in, Colorado, Rach is in Illinois. We do a Wisconsin retreat, a Michigan retreat. Like, we're seeing more and more people from other walks of life that Rach and I don't have personal connections to yet. So they are strangers initially, and then we leave as friends. So that's been really fun to see our community grow and evolve.
We love that, like, people become friends. Like, there's people who are, like you said, like, to your point, that are now great friends because they met on a retreat and they make it a point to see each other, or maybe they take yoga together now. It's the ultimate compliment to people who don't. We've had plenty of people that don't take yoga come on our retreats. They're like, I am not a yogi. And now they're in classes weekly. And I think that if we can give a piece of that to everyone, like that love that we have for it, that they're interested in exploring that path, our retreat, that means a lot to us too.
Love it. Could you each share one of your favorite moments from a retreat, if you have one?
It's a great question.
Okay, I'm going to be a big dork.
Love.
I'm going to say our second Kohler retreat. This was when, I can't remember, it was our first or second evening, but this is part of my favorite time of our retreats, is when Rach and I are coming together at the end of the day, end of the night. And sometimes we share a bed. Sometimes we just roll over and face each other, and we're just giggling and reflecting. And it feels so right. I have no other words for it. Aligned. This is where we are meant to be. We're laughing. We're already talking about, like, here's how we would change. Here's what we would change for next year. Here's what we're going to, adapt to. And this didn't work. This did. It just makes me feel so strong in our partnership. And like, yes, this has always been a hell yes for me. And it's just very solidifying. So I love our end of the night little girl chat and hangouts when everything quiets down.
I love
You're
that.
not a dork because I literally was thinking like when we share a bed together, but I have another one. But I literally was like when Allie and I snuggle because we do. We like we cannot we chat until we fall asleep. Like it's like little kids. Like we're talking and then
Yeah.
somebody falls asleep. But the second thing that stuck out to me is like I love to burn shit. So like when we that sounded
Mm,
bad, but like just it's such a cathartic thing for me. So even you brought that up, Courtney, like we did a whole letting go workshop when we were in Tulum. And I got this little like, bin that they had and I had my lighter and everyone wrote down things that were limiting beliefs for them that they had been told their whole life that was the voice in their head. And there's something about writing it down, sharing it if you wanted to, and then burning it and throwing it away and realizing that you have that mental power too, right? The physical act, but also
mm.
that mental power. And I could talk about letting go forever. So I love, love, love that piece that we incorporated into Loom. But always the top thing is getting to talk to Allie at the end of the night and snuggle.
I love that. I love that, especially because you two are holding so much space for everyone else. And then you kind of get to like decompress.
Yeah, it's so needed. We're very protective of our space, in that way too. We're like, this is our bedroom. We'll see you guys in the morning. If you want
Hmm.
to hang out by the fire, if you want to go do X, Y, and Z, amazing. Sometimes we'll partake. Sometimes we'll just kind of peel back. It just depends on the energy exchange that happened that day.
Totally. Because that is a lot of energy to hold. It's a lot of people. Yeah. One other individual question. Over the last like 4 years, how do you think you have evolved the most or like your biggest lesson over those last 4 years of being in business together?
I feel
Right.
like, I'm going to I lean a lot on this partnership because it's a partnership, but we're also friends first. And I think that Allie has taught me so much about, letting things go, but also kind of about my worth, right?
Mm,
My worth and what I don't need to stand for and what I can get rid of and still be the person I want to be. And, I think that I take away the way that I've grown is bringing in pieces of that woo, that spirituality into my daily life, into my kids' life. And I just take that piece from her, really knowing that it's okay to let things go and that if I need somebody to validate me, if I need somebody to energize me, if I need someone to tell me to knock my shit off, I look over to her. And I think that friendship has evolved the way that we lead retreats. And for me, that has changed the way that I lead a lot of things in my life over the past 4 years.
mm, that's beautiful. It bleeds into like everything.
Hmm.
I love you, Rach. When I met Rach, she was already like such a powerhouse of a woman and so confident. And I think that's what attracted me to her. But it's almost like we had these things happen or circumstances in and outside of work where it just felt like maybe neither of us were really tapping into our potential. And so sometimes you just need a girlfriend to be like, you are worth so much more. You're tolerating this bullshit. Like, get out of your head. And I've just seen her really grow and just like catapult into the best version of her. And maybe that's also with us having some distance geographically. We're not close by anymore, so we don't get to spend as much time one on one. A lot of times our trips are part of the only, time we get to connect. But yeah, 4 years, a lot has changed. And to see her as a mom, as a business owner, as a wife, as a yoga instructor, like I take her classes when I pop back in and visit. And yeah, I'm just so proud of her. So it touches my heart.
I love you.
In terms of, you know, the learnings too, I think trust has been something, just an overall theme for me. Trust in myself, trust in my journey, trust in Rach, having to lean on a partner. I'm used to doing so many things on my own because of how I was
Mm,
raised. It's like you could depend on yourself and nobody else. And that's such a false storyline that I'm really trying to shed and be done with.
mm,
And so I think Rach and I kind of know what lanes we have and can stay in or kind of blur those lines in terms of responsibilities for Rare Soul, but trusting that she's going to get her stuff done. Trusting that, like I said, I have some medical stuff going on, that it's all going to work out the way it's supposed to. Trusting that this audition is going to go well. And if it doesn't, it's not meant for me. Just trust. Getting into my late 30s feels a lot different than 10 years ago. Like Rach said, if we would have met 10 years ago, we might not have had and built Rare Soul, but it all feels like it's happening the way it should at this time.
That's beautiful. Do you guys feel like you lead with your intuition a lot in business?
100%.
Yes. And when we don't, we're like, we went against our guts, or like, we should have said no. We were talking about saying no, but we said yes instead, or vice versa. There are lessons to be learned often.
And I think we trust each other too. If Allie's like, oh, I have this really great idea and we're going to do this or make this connection. And I'll be like, there's something that feels off. And like, it'll be the other way around as well. And like, we trust the other person's like, oh, okay, like if you feel like it's off, something is wrong here. And we need to dive into that deeper before we make any commitments. That's a big part of how we partner too.
Trust is so important. That's amazing. And what would you like listeners to like take away from this conversation?
That everybody is a yogi, whether you've been practicing for a couple months, couple years, your entire life. Our retreats truly are accessible for everybody. If you're looking to build friends, community, if you're looking to deepen your practice, come join us. It's fun. It's affordable. And we're always looking for the next venue and new spot to go to. So if our upcoming retreat doesn't work for you, there's going to be one right around the corner.
Yeah. And if you're looking to know if you belong or if it's right for you, like, you belong. We will always be a space where you belong, whatever version of you that you bring. And I think that is important to us as well, is that every body and everybody is belong.
Love that. Do you have any upcoming experiences that people can sign up for? Do you?
We both just like kind of look at each other like, I know you're looking at me. Like,
we got something brewing for early 2026. It's coming soon. So get ready for the winter, and looking at a couple more fun things, different things we have not yet done and have not yet explored for the second half of 2026.
Amazing.
It's Bloom again, so that's fun. We're geared up to go back there in November because that place is full of magic. But I think like we're gonna bring some new stuff in, like Ellie said, and we're gonna also like revisit maybe some other things that we have done. So local travel, whatever people want, there's gonna be something for that coming up in the next year.
Love it. Where can people find you if they want to look out for this stuff?
We are on Instagram. Yeah, at Rare Soul Retreats. We're pretty active on there. You can go to our website, which is raresoulretreats.com.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This was lovely. I love you guys, and I hope to be at something with you soon.
Thank you. We love you right back.
Visit ablealchemy.com to download your free chakra journal and to learn more about Able Alchemy. This is a place where your dreams and reality align through services like tarot and astrology readings, sound bath sessions, and intuitive branding for businesses looking to align with their manifestations and purpose through soul-led studies such as astrology, business energy analysis, and chakra color theory. Follow along with Able Alchemy on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Please rate, review, and subscribe if you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for listening, and see you next time.